Okay, sounds good. I'll get back to you. Thank you. Have you ever had a prospect that says to you, oh, I will get back to you? Now, what happens after that? Comment below. What happens after they say, I will get back to you? Do you hear from them again? Do you hear from them a day later, a week later, a month later, or they ghost on you and they disappear and they never get back to you? This is not so different from when they say to you, I want to think about it. So how do you handle this objection? First of all, you got to know exactly what is the truth. Are they just being polite, or are they needing a little bit more time to make the decision, or are they just politely declining and rejecting you? You have to know exactly what is going on. So when a prospect says, I will get back to you, here's some of the things that I say that I can teach you that you can say to handle that objection. Now, first of all, when they say that, I'm always very upfront. I'm always very direct. I don't like to say, oh yeah, okay, sure. I can send you some more information, or when would you like to get back to me? That's not what you want to say. So when I see a salesperson, when a prospect says, oh, I will get back to you, and the salesperson says, oh, sure, should I call you back, maybe follow with you like next week, or can I call you back in a month to see where things are at? No, you do not do that, because that immediately puts you at a lower status as a closer. So what should you say instead? Here's what are some of the things that you could say. Example, well, I'll get back to you. Well, you know what, Mr. Prospect, usually when I hear someone says that they'll get back to me, I never hear from them again. Exactly. Let's bottom line this. What would it take for you and I to do business today? You ask the prospect a very simple but profound question. What would it take for you and I to do business today? Then from there, sometimes the prospect would say, well, actually what I need is I need this information, or I need some references, or I need a plan, or I need to talk to someone. Whatever it is, I want a truth. Now you can go focus on solving that particular problem or handling the objection, versus it's this thing up in the air that you don't know what exactly are you solving. Another thing that you could say, it could be something like this, where he says or she says, well, I'll get back to you. Well, you know what, Mr. Prospect, usually when I hear that, I've been doing this for a long time. When someone says that they'll get back to me, I never hear from them again. I mean, you're just trying to be polite. You don't want to reject me. Isn't this the case here? Exactly what's going on. Is it the term? Is it the price? Is it the money? What part of the deal you don't like? You can tell me. Assuming we're not going to do business, let's lay everything on the table. Tell me, what don't you like about the deal? And then the prospect might say, well, actually, the price is a little bit too high. Okay, then let's talk about price. What can we do? What if I can offer you some kind of payment plan? Would that make a difference? What if I give you better terms? What if I can do this? Okay, what if we can lower the upfront fee? Would that make a difference? Oh yeah, that would make a difference. Good. Now we've got a deal. So you got to look at all these things that's happening, versus take whatever they say and take it literally. You have to understand this. Prospects lie. That's one thing I've learned in closing. If they're flipping their lips, they're lying. Prospects lie all the time. They're not telling you the truth. Why? Because they want to protect themselves. They don't want to give you too much information. They're afraid that as a closer, you might use that intel against them. They don't want to be sold. They don't want you to get their commission or whatever it is. So you have to know that there's a lot of resistance. You need to cut through the crap. Cut through, get rid of smoke and mirror, and get to the truth of what is going on. I remember when I had written a few books, I was on a call with a client, a potential client, to hire me for consulting. I was on the phone and the prospect was saying to me, well, Dan, it sounds very good. Why don't I do this? I would go read your book and I would get back to you. And I simply turned it around and I said, you know what, Mr. Prospect, I wrote the book. What could you possibly get from the book that you cannot get from me in person? So let's bottom line this. What would it take for you and I to do business today, not tomorrow? And then he says, well, you know what? Actually, nothing. let's move forward. And boom, I close that deal. Sometimes it's just asking a couple questions, and that's all you need to close that sale. You see, well, here's what I believe in. There are a lot of different sales trainers and sales gurus, and I'm not a fucking guru, by the way, but they're like all the sales trainers where they teach you, here are 10 different ways you can handle one objection. My high ticket closing methodology, my philosophy is the opposite. I prefer to know one way to handle 10 different objections versus 10 different ways to handle one objection, because I don't want to be memorizing so many lines and scripts when I'm closing and I'm connecting with a prospect on the phone, versus I keep it very, very simple. If my way of handling objections are good, are effective, why do I need so many different techniques and so many scripts? Shouldn't one way of handling objection be able to handle multiple objections? That's my philosophy. So it doesn't matter they give me objection A, objection B, objection C, objection D, objection E. I kind of handle it the same way. The way I would handle, I want to think about it, or I'll get back to you, it's very, very similar. I might change a couple questions, a few words here and there, but it's basically the same thing. It keeps my life very, very simple. It makes my life as a closer much, much simpler, and I can close that sale with ease. Now, if you want to know how I handle objections, what I call the high ticket closer way, HTC way, I'm doing a brand new training for the new year. Click the link here somewhere or up there and join me for a 2-hour free on demand training, exactly how high ticket closing works. And what are some of the things that I do that are different from everybody else? So what can you do to take control of the conversation, of the sales call within minutes? And then when it's not a good fit, instead of you getting rejected, you can disqualify the prospect. So go ahead and click the link and join me for this 2-hour free on demand training.